4 players, 1 house, 1 doll that turns from a harmless little girl into something that will end your run in seconds if you stop paying attention for even a moment. Pacify is a small game with a big fear delivery system. The co-op works because the task, collecting and burning papers to pacify the entity, requires splitting up in a house specifically designed to make splitting up feel like a terrible idea. Every room has something wrong with it, and the sound design makes sure you hear your teammates screaming from the other side of the building before you see what got them. The entity's speed on higher difficulties reaches a point where 4 players coordinating escape routes through voice chat still results in at least 1 person not making it to the door. And the specific trigger that turns the pacified state back to hostile is something new players learn the hard way exactly once.
Most co-op horror games give you tools to fight back. Dark Hours gives you a flashlight, a radio, and 4 players who all made the same mistake agreeing to enter a haunted prison together. The asymmetric information system is what separates this from standard walking simulators with jump scares. Different players receive different clues about the entity's behavior and location, which means communication is not optional, it is survival infrastructure. A player in the East Wing knows something the player in the basement needs to hear, and the entity knows the radio is on. The Warden entity adopts its patrol pattern based on collective player noise levels across the entire session. Play loud early and it learns aggression. Play silent and it learns patience. The behavioral memory carries across the entire game session, and the team that figures this out in the first 10 minutes survives significantly longer than the team that figures it out in the last 10.
1 player becomes possessed. The other 3 have to stop it from happening again while completing ritual objectives in a farmhouse that gets progressively less safe the longer the session runs. The possessed goat mechanic, where the cult leader Anna attempts to consume goats to complete her ritual, while your team tries to burn them before she reaches them, creates a chaotic 4-way priority system that breaks down beautifully under pressure. Someone is always in the wrong place. Someone always has the wrong item, and Anna always seems to know exactly which player is isolated. The later maps escalate the co-op pressure significantly. The Asylum map introduces a secondary objective that directly conflicts with the primary one, forcing the team to split resources in a way the farmhouse never demanded. And the entity speed on the final difficulty setting moves faster than most players realize is possible until it is already behind them. Ancient Egypt. 4 players. 5 possible entities, and you do not know which one is in the tomb until the evidence forces a conclusion, hopefully before the entity forces one for you. Forewarn's co-op identity investigation system requires actual teamwork to function. Clues are spread across a tomb large enough that solo coverage is impossible in the time available. Players call out evidence types over voice chat, cross-reference against the entity codex, and narrow the identification while the entity grows more active around them. Getting the identification wrong means preparing the wrong countermeasures, and the entity knows you guessed wrong before you do. The Magi entity specifically targets the player who has identified the most evidence, punishing the most informed player on the team, and forcing a protection strategy that most groups never develop until after their first wipe to it. You and 3 friends are content creators descending into an underground world to film monsters for internet views. The horror is real. The monetization pressure is also real. Somehow, both are terrifying simultaneously. The camera mechanic reframes co-op horror entirely. Someone has to be filming while someone else is screaming, and someone else is running, and the 4th person has already disconnected from both the game and their own sense of self-preservation. The footage quality, whether you captured clear monster footage, good lighting, dramatic reactions, determines your revenue and your ability to buy better equipment for the next dive. The monster variety in the underground scales in aggression based on how successful your previous uploads were. Post a viral video, and the next descent sends something that clearly watched it and prepared accordingly. The specific monster that only appears on camera and is invisible to the naked eye has ended more friendships than any other entity in co-op horror history.